Thank you. I appreciate everybody being here. We get started with the McNeese game. It went, I think we had some issues in the first half. Again, saw a new quarterback that we haven't seen before. We didn't know who they were going to play, and so they did some things that were a little bit different. And then I thought we did a good job at halftime making some adjustments, making a few changes, and then played much better in the second half, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Just never got rolling on offense. Had way too many mistakes up front. Their movement caused some problems. I think our offensive line did not do a good enough job picking up some stuff that they gave us. I don't think the quarterback position performed as well as we needed to. We quarterbacks had only thrown one interception all year long. We threw three the other night. And so that was disappointing. But I think the game kind of went like we thought it was. This is the sixth time I played them, and three of them been decided by, or four of them been decided by 3 points, and then here we are at 1 point. And so it's we just know that's what it is when you get in this conference and you go on the road. Those things are gonna happen, and I was happy for our guys to be able to overcome all the adversity that they saw, and then come out with a win. Because at the end of the thing, you look up at the scoreboard and did you get what you want from that standpoint, and we did. Now, the process that we went through to get there is the part we got to fix. And we'll work on that this week, get some more consistency in what we're doing on both sides of the football, and do what we need to do to make sure that we can, perform the way that we can perform. I think there were some guys the other night, though, that we do need to mention. I know Dante was named Defensive Player of the Week, and he really played well. He was all over the field. He had an interception. He had a sack. He had some TFLs, led us in tackles, he and Jack. And that was really good to see. Played really well. Austin Dunlap, and I've been saying from, over a year now, he's the best punter in the country. Just never got a lot of reps, but now he's getting a few more reps, and it's showing. We had three balls inside the 10-yard line, not the 20, but the 10, the 1, the 6, and the 8 of his 4 punts. And, it just changed the field. And when you got a guy like that, it's a weapon, so it forces those guys to go along all the way across the field, and that's a tough situation for their team. On the offensive side, it's good to see CJ get a couple of big catches that needed to happen, and then Ivan Drabowski just the catch and run he made for the touchdown, and then also for the other one getting the ball all the way down in there on a flea flicker. That was really impressive too, and he's been playing better, especially at the point of attack, us running the football behind him. So I think there were some positive things that were in that game, but there was a lot of negative that we had to overcome, and we did do that. And like I said, to be able to come out on the front end. Lamar this week going back to Beaumont and playing those guys. I think what you'll see, it's a very young football team, but it's a team that's starting to find out who they are. Last couple of weeks they played a whole lot better. They go down and beat Nichols this past week, and and that's a heck of a win now when you can do that at home. So we'll be back in there. They'll be excited about that. But they have played better as the year is going on, and you're starting to see them evolve and to be consistent into what they want to do on both sides of the football. They've stopped some of the movement. They're settling down a little bit on defense, and I think it's allowing them to maybe play a little bit faster because they look a whole lot better. And then offensively, they're going to run the football. I think that's their MO. They're going to do that. They're a physical team up front. Again, young, but they're physical, and they're going to run the football. That's just what they're doing with everybody else, controlling it and keeping the other team off the field. So I think what's important this week is converting third downs on offense so we can stay on the field, and then get off the field on defense by stopping them on third down and forcing the punts. So that's going to be important for us this week. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Their quarterback was something y'all weren't expecting. Talk about your stats, how you guys did at halftime adjusting to what he was doing when you don't have much video on him or anything like that.
Yeah, the game plan going in, was we weren't quite sure who was going to play quarterback, but he was not on the radar. He'd been a receiver most of the year, or all of the year, and in fact, since the time he's been at McNeese, for the most part, he'd been a receiver. And so we really didn't have anything on him. We had some other stuff that we were preparing for. We made some adjustments at halftime, and mainly it was the way we were rushing our rush lanes and the guys up front. I thought we did a poor job in the first half with our rush lanes, even as we tried to adjust. But then went in there at halftime, I think defensive staff did a good job settling our guys down and then putting them in a position to be successful. And we executed the things that we had called. We were able to stop and we bottled them up in the second half, and I thought it was a whole lot better. You could see the momentum they had going in at halftime, and then we came out, we played a lot better on defense, and it gave us some momentum going into the fourth quarter.
When you look at CJ and just having to step up again at the end of the game, kind of 2 weeks in a row, having great second halves, or playing better in the second half. He's just, everybody kind of forgets he's a one-year starter guy. You just see more maturity with him as the year goes on at the quarterback position? Cephas, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think, he didn't play well in the first half. He had some, missed some reads and things like that. But what you saw him, and then Eli didn't play well, but, Eli's been out for a couple of weeks, so there's been some adjustments, him not practicing and things like that. And we tried to get him in there and just didn't feel like he's very comfortable yet. So I think Cephas in the second half took over and did some good things. Got some, he hit the passes he needed to hit. The fourth down to CJ on the go route, well thrown ball, put it where he needed to. The deep ball to CJ on the post corner, that was a heck of a throw that he made there. The deep ball to Ivan. Those are throws that you just can't miss, and he didn't. So when he had to step up and make a play, he did do that, and I was just happy to see that.
It's just what's the message to the team at halftime when you have such a huge swing of momentum there at the end? You're up one, and then in a matter of seconds, you turn the ball over, and now they have the lead.
Yeah, it was a one possession game, so it wasn't any. Nobody went in there yelling and screaming at halftime. You just walked in there and said, "All right, let's make some adjustments. Listen to where we are right now. Let's take a look at it, and then evaluate it, and then what do we need to do in the second half?" And mainly the adjustments were offensively adjusting to the movement that they gave us, and we were more efficient running the football in the second half. And then defensively, taking care of the rush lanes with our front guys and the backers to not allow the quarterback to beat us with his feet, force him to throw the football.
You getting a chance to see Lamar in video a little bit and talked about them getting better. Are they still pretty much an option football team? Is that what they want to do? When you say run the ball, are they still kind of running that option look?
Yeah, no, they've gotten away from the option. They're more inside zone, outside zone, split zone, things like that. I think that fits their youth a little bit more. When you look back and you go, because triple option really does. You got to master it, right? And I think that's tough on younger guys. So I think in the next couple of years, I could see that evolution taking place where they go to that more. But right now, it's most of inside zone and outside zone stuff, which allows the offensive lineman to play faster, especially inexperienced guys.
They got to pressure y'all defensively.
Yeah, they will. They come at a lot of different angles. You'll see their front move. Backers come, guys coming off the edge. The nickel, they'll bring him some, wrap a backer around on top of him, and add on. So they're coming in from a lot of different angles. Now they were pretty vanilla against nickels this past week, just lined up and played, and their guys played really well, especially up front, stopping the run. They did it. They had a great plan against them and forced Nichols to throw in the football, and they weren't efficient doing that. And that's why the score ended up like it did.
When you look at these games now, 2 weeks in a row, teams that kind of their seasons are lost, they're just trying to play to get better, and you guys have bigger goals. Do you talk about that with your team about, hey, look, these guys, you're their Super Bowl now. You're going to get their best shot. You guys talk about that with the team when you play teams that are in this predicament?
No, you don't. We don't play to anybody else's standards. We play to our standards. So who we play and where we play them, you do the game plan and things like that. But we got to execute the things that we need to execute. Nobody wants to beat us worse than McNeese. Nobody's going to want to beat us this week worse than Lamar. Nobody's going to want to. And that's how it's going to go in this conference. And especially when you go on the road, it's difficult to play in those places. And I keep telling people, come on down here, come play us in these environments that we play in, and you'll see what the competition's like. Don't look at the records because we're beating up on each other for the most part, or we're traveling early in the year and playing people at their place. And so when you look at, just like us, we go on the road to Lafayette and FAU and Jacksonville State. We're 1-2 in those places. And you go, oh, wow, y'all lost some games. Yeah, that happens in that environment. Well, when you go to these places, when you go to McNeese, when you go to Lamar, when you go to Northwestern, you go to Nichols, or you come here to Strawberry Stadium, you better get ready to play. Nobody just rolls their helmets out. You got to prepare and you got to play, get ready to play a heck of a game.
You guys think that with 3 games left, what's a big thing that you're saying we got to get better at this spot to win these last 3 games and have a chance to win the league?
Well, just like the other night, we had some penalties at inopportune times, right? A couple of false starts. Just can't do that. Got to take care of the football. We've been doing a good job of that all year long and turned it over 3 times the other night. So you can't do that. And I think we got to tackle a little bit better. So as we mature and grow, all those things are going to fall into place. We're playing a lot of young guys at really key positions, inexperienced guys. And as we grow and continue to play, some of those things are going to get ironed out.
Let's talk about Ivan and just his year and just how he's been just a big part of y'all's offense and his development as a player.
Yeah, well, we used the tight end a lot. When Branson was here in 18 and 19, we used him a lot. Really didn't have anybody in 20. And then in 21, Nolan Gibbon was here and used him a lot. He was really a dynamic player. So the same thing's happening right now. Tight ends have a tendency to get lost in coverage. They're usually covered by linebackers and safeties who are more apt to attack the line of scrimmage in the run game. So they're susceptible to play action stuff where the tight end or the back can slip out and they get lost a lot of times. And that's what's happening with Ivan. But the thing with him is that he does a great job catching the football and then running with it afterwards. And you saw evidence of that this past week.
How valuable is it for you guys to have Cephas to be able to use those legs when the plays break down offensively to just kind of maybe not get a first down, but get 3 or 4 rather than a sack or a negative play?
Yeah, that's always important, Robbie. I think when you got a quarterback who's mobile, that's important. We're not a quarterback run-oriented team. We're a quarterback drop back and throw, but the ability for him to do that is really important. Cole had that ability. Chasen had that ability. So sometimes it allows you to get a first down when the first down's not there. Defense makes good calls too, right? And sometimes they make a call that counters ours is better than what we've called, and they got us covered. And then now the quarterback's got to make a decision of what to do, and he has the ability to do that.
You got any favorite Halloween candy you like tonight?
Snickers. Snickers is good. I mean, you're looking at the chocolate, the carrot. I mean, there's so many good things in Snickers, and then I think Almond Joy is really good. I'm a coconut guy, chocolate, and then the almonds in that. Those are two. If you look at those 2 candies, I don't know if you need anything else really.
Least favorite?
Least favorite would be maybe a Butterfinger. I think a Butterfinger with the crunch and everything always falls down. Like when you take a bite, it always falls, and so I think that's not good. That's probably the worst one. The Butterfinger, and yeah, I don't eat any the other ones. I'm just not gonna try anyway. So.
What's your Halloween costume tonight? What's your Halloween costume tonight?
I'm not a dress up kind of guy. I just I let other people can handle that, and I'm good. I don't. I'm just learning who some of the people are, like Rick Ross or whatever. Bob Ross.
Very good.